Hi, everybody. We're here with week number 2 with our Tap into Westfield's podcast. We have on the phone from Florida, Jackie Lieberman. Hi, Jackie. How's it going in Florida?
Hi. It's so warm here. How's everything in Westfield?
It's good today. Yesterday it was definitely colder. Today the snow is melting, and it's a day after snow. It's actually beautiful. I'm looking out here, and I see white snow, and I really like the way it looks.
Did the kids enjoy the snow?
They had a good time. The only thing is it got a little cold and windy yesterday, so I think for the kids, they had to go out and maybe just for about maybe an hour, and then they came in. Too cold for them. But overall, the snow is really nice here right now.
Okay, it's winter. It should snow a little, you know?
Definitely. Well, so this week we had our first interview other than you, Jackie, and I interviewed CJ Raycraft from Butcher Burgers, and it went really well.
Love that place. That is one of my favorite places to eat. And they're going to be involved in Dine Out Westfield. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am. I have eaten during Dine Out Westfield, and I'm looking forward to this year as well.
They used to call it Restaurant Week. Now they changed the name to Dine Out Westfield, and it's 2 weeks long, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to start on February 26th and go to March 9th. And it's going to be at a number of different restaurants. They're going to have bargain prefix menus. Definitely make your reservations now. And for the BYO places, I found out, you know Nos Vino, the wine shop in Westfield on Central Avenue?
Yes.
If you make your reservation and you call them and you tell them what wine you want, they will deliver it to your table for you while you're at the restaurant. So how's that for service? And
is that new to this year? Have they done that in the past?
I think that's new to this year, yeah. So that's really cool. And, that way if you're at a BYO, you still feel like you're at a full-service restaurant that has a wine license.
So what do you...
That's a lot of fun.
So you go to the restaurant and you tell them what restaurant you're going to be at. You call them up and they time it and they bring the wine over to your table?
Yeah. They're going to have a wine tasting on February 25th just for wines that they recommend for these restaurants for Restaurant Week or for Dine Out Westfield. So on February 25th, go over to Nos Vino from 2 to 5 and get to try everything. It's going to be cool.
Oh, so this is going to be that's going to be a fun 2 weeks in Westfield.
Yeah. I'm already thinking about where I want to go. I want to go to all of them.
CJ was talking about a revival of the downtown. What better way to revive the downtown than Restaurant Week?
I think it's a wonderful thing for the restaurants and for the retailers, too. You can come in, do a little shopping, go out to dinner, get bargains, try new things. It's a great event. They do it twice a year. Good.
So we'll be looking forward to Restaurant Week, which starts very soon.
Yeah, February 26th. So start calling them now. February. And I will let you go on with that interview with CJ. I can't wait to hear it.
Okay, it's coming on next, right after Jackie. Jackie, what do you have on tap today in Florida?
Today in Florida, I'm going to hang out by the pool and play with my kids. And, of course, I'll be writing. So keep going to Tap into Westfield and see what's happening in town. I am still on top of everything, and I will be back in town very soon.
Good. Sounds like a fun day. Enjoy Florida and have a safe trip back, and we will see you next week.
All right.
Weekly podcast. Today is Wednesday, January 8th. I'm your host, Mike Cohen. Today we're talking with CJ Raycraft Jr. He's the owner of Butcher Burgers. Here's some background information on CJ. He used to be the chef at Chez Catherine, and he's a graduate of the French Culinary Institute. He won this year's Chef of the Future Award, and who gave you that award?
It's the American Institute of Gastronomy.
Okay.
Or, excuse me, the International Academy of Gastronomy.
Okay, thank you. And he's, according to Jackie Lieberman, he's been making some crazy milkshakes in Westfield. CJ is on the board of the Greater Westfield Area of Chamber of Commerce, and he's the New Jersey Restaurant and Hospitality Association. Welcome to the show, CJ.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me on.
So let's start here. You used to own a restaurant, Amuse, in Westfield, and then you turned it into Butcher Burgers. So explain how that happened.
Well, we had been in business for 2.5 years as the French concept Amuse, and we felt that concept really needed a liquor license. And with the lack of an affordable one in Westfield, New Jersey, we thought we would try and do something a little bit more fast casual. So after some deliberation internally, we decided that the burger place would be the way to go. So that's kind of how we came up with the idea and the concept, and then we kept the Muse open through the end of June last year, shut down for July, redid the inside, and changed the menu up, changed some of the things in the kitchen, and then reopened early August in the summer. So
we're currently sitting in the restaurant Butcher Burgers. Is that the same location where Muse was?
Correct. We just basically just shut the restaurant down and then did some things inside, changed some paint, changed some artwork, things like of that nature, and then got open and rolling with the new concept.
Is your specialty French cuisine?
It's what I studied. It's what I made a lot of my career on. But I've worked in a bunch of different restaurants over the years, so it was burgers have always been a favorite thing of mine to eat. So it was a pretty easy transition for me.
So how did you make the conversion from French food to burgers? Are some of your burgers sort of like French foodish a little bit?
There's a lot of cooking French is technique. So there's a lot of good techniques that we use in the sauce making and in the flavor combinations and the idea of textures and salty and sweet and different types of combinations that we do apply to this menu as well.
Well, I ate here on Saturday night with my family, and we really enjoyed it. We had a wide variety of burgers. We had the shrimp burger. I had the lamb burger. My daughters had the traditional hamburgers, and they were really good. I mean, so what is the key to, like? There's so many burger places, but yours is a little different, obviously. What is the key to it? The difference in being so making it popular for the general public?
Well, we just try and offer a variety of different flavors and ideas. So, for instance, we do have a lamb burger that we do with an onion roll and a tzatziki sauce and feta cheese, and we have very staple type things like a bacon cheeseburger, which we spruce up a bit with on a pretzel bun. We just try and take regular classic ideas and sandwiches and twist them a little bit and make them our own. Very similar to the style that we did at Amuse with the French food. We would take classics and twist them and turn them on our own.
How did you get this creativity for food? Where did you get this original interest in food?
I've always been, I guess you'd say, sort of left-brained and very creative with different things, from drawing, painting. I'm a musician, so the creativity is just part of my personality from when I was younger, and basically it's just where I apply myself and get involved with using that creativity. So for me, instead of painting on a canvas, you can paint on a plate, or and food for me is multifaceted. Because you first eat with your eyes. When it comes to your table, you say, oh wow, the presentation looks really good, and then you eat it and you taste the flavors and you smell the aromas. So you have that, and then you feel the food as as you're digesting it too. So it's kind of a multifaceted approach to art, if you will.
And you've been in Westfield how long?
Well, on and off since 2003, I think, or 2004. On and off since 2004. I started as an intern at Chez Catherine back in 2004 before I graduated from the French Culinary Institute. Worked there until 2005. Then went to Newark for a couple of years, and in late 2007, I got a call from the owner of Chez Catherine to come back and be the chef there. I was there for from 2007 to literally New Year's Eve on 2013 before we opened Amuse like 2 weeks later.
So tell us a little about Chez Catherine. What is it? Where was it? Where is it? And what was your role there?
Sure, it's located on North Avenue in the Best Western Hotel there. It's been there since, I think it opened in 1979, if I'm not mistaken. It was very, it's known as kind of an institution in the restaurant world of New Jersey. Lots of really good food, lots of good accolades there. So in my time that I was there, we were fortunate to win a bunch of nice awards from New Jersey Monthly. We got 4 stars from Star Ledger. It's a lot more formal. It has a very nice wine list. They do a lot of things tableside. They cut over soul there. Recently, the owner that I worked under retired, and he sold it to his maitre d', Stefan, who's a dear friend of mine, and he's taking it over, and he's doing really well with it as well. So I got a chance to eat there like maybe 2 weeks after they opened for lunch, and they did a really nice job. Really good chef in there. The team in the kitchen is very good. I know them all pretty well, so I'm very happy for them.
That's good. So since you opened the burger place and you've been in Westfield so long, can you tell me a little bit of something about the Westfield market, like what you like about it, why you've been here for so long, and why this is your second restaurant now in Westfield?
Sure. Well, I mean, initially when we opened, the downtown was thriving. There was a lot of businesses down here, a lot of retail, and things were really, it was very easy to do business because there was a lot of people around. Unfortunately, lately it's been in kind of a decline. There's a lot of empty storefronts. The downtown has kind of slowed down quite a bit. So, that's unfortunate for not just for me, but for all the other surrounding businesses in the area. We're all kind of feeling that, to the best of my knowledge. But it's a really nice town. I mean, the numbers are there as far as the analytical on the business side of it. The national home, the average home income and all that stuff is all the numbers are right for what you would think would be a good business model. But lately it's just been not a lot of foot traffic during the week, so it's been a little bit of a struggle. But as with any business, you're going to go through peaks and valleys. So we're hoping we're getting to the end of this valley here and starting to head back up. There's some promising things happening, and I feel with the help of number one, the residents that are in the downtown, and they come out and there's a lot of positive stuff I read on Facebook from them on the Westfield Post, that they're coming out and they're shopping local and they're doing all this, which is a great help. But that the downtown council, the downtown Westfield Corporation, everybody's trying to get together and make things work. So me being a restaurant guy, it's never fast enough. We're always trying to be as fast as possible. So. We do know that everybody's doing their best and has the best interest of the town at heart. So we're confident that things will turn around.
And you're on the Westfield board of
right, the Greater Westfield Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm sit on the board there, and I actually just formed a legislative committee. So that is still in its very early stages, but we will be having some representation at there's 5 towns, so we're trying to get involvement from all 5 towns and get our chamber represented at all the different council meetings and everything like that. So still very early stages. We just formed it last month, so we're getting there slowly but surely.
There are 5 towns that are together?
Right.
Which towns are those?
So it's Westfield, Garwood, Mountainside, Fanwood, and Scotch Plains.
So all of you work together, and this is obviously the biggest town of all of those by far.
I don't think any one town is bigger than the other. So we're all in it together. We all represent each other. We all help each other out. All the different businesses that open up locally. We all try and support each other, especially from the members of the board, the director of the board. I mean, there's pretty good representation from all the towns on the board. We'd always love to have more members. I don't know if it's. I would have to look at the numbers and see exactly which town has the most representation. It might be Westfield, it might be not, but we have 500 plus members, so it's it's quite a big network. So if you're thinking about how can I improve my business, how can I do these things, I mean, it's definitely something to get involved with. There's a lot of free networking on Tuesday mornings. I think it's the first or second of every month. They have a networking event. It's free for people to come out and promote your business and meet people, and it's one of those things where you get what you put in. So definitely try and see what's out there and get involved. It's a really, really fun group of people. They're all entrepreneurs and very business minded, and there's a lot that you can just learn from that room, just from hanging out and watching. I know I've learned a ton. So it's fun to be involved and be a part of those decisions that help the board grow and thrive.
And this situation that's happened in Westfield, it's not just in Westfield, it's basically all over the country. These small towns or large towns, medium-sized towns, the storefronts are not doing what they used to do. And I guess, is that because you think the larger, stores, chain stores are coming in Route 22 in this particular case? What do you think is the reason for this?
It's not just one single reason. There's a lot of other towns that have put a lot into their downtown that are coming up. I mean, Cranford is one. I mean, Cranford has done a beautiful job with their area. I mean, they have an incredible parking deck. They have really just redone all the sidewalks. I'm not sure if they're doing any sort of tax incentives for property owners or whatever, but there seems to be a lot of new businesses opening up in there, and they're doing wonderful. And I'm not sure if their zones are the same. I mean, I know Westfield zoning laws are a little antiquated. They're from the mid-'90s, I think, and they basically scheduled this centralized district for specifically retail and restaurant. I know we spoke at the mayor's downtown Westfield task force meeting, and they brought up maybe they're going to look at those zoning laws and see if they can change some things. And the more people we have down here, the more it'll benefit everybody. So another reason is the shifting face of the market of retail. Many stores. I mean, not just in Westfield, but I mean, you look at Macy's is closing over 100 stores. Walmart's cutting back and they're doing like two day shipping on their website. Everyone's trying to compete with the Amazons and the Alibabas of the world. Because they made it. I mean, they don't even own any stores. They just have warehouses and they ship stuff out and they get it in 2 days, and you don't have to leave your couch. In the restaurant market, we have to compete not only with all the restaurants in town and surrounding towns, but we have things like Blue Apron and like Eat Clean Bro and all these things that people don't have to get up off their couch. The food gets right delivered to them. I mean, granted, Blue Apron you have to cook it. Eat Clean Bro you put in the microwave for 2 minutes and you're eating. So we've implemented a delivery and a pickup program. We have a new app. We're doing everything we can to get our we're investing our marketing dollars into things like that and trying to really grow our business in ways that we didn't really different opportunities that we didn't really have with the Amuse application. I mean, we did some delivery, but it wasn't much. This concept we did very well with the delivery. So. Again, the problems downtown are multifaceted. There's not just one, fix. There's going to be a lot of different things that have to come into play. Parking is definitely one of them. I mean, that's the number one complaint I see on, some of the Tap Into sponsored Westfield pages, and just from what I hear from walking around and. And I feel bad for the parking guys. I've gotten friendly with them. I see them around town all the time, and they're just doing their jobs. And a lot of people give them a lot of grief. It's probably one of the worst jobs to have in town. It's just they're not making any friends by giving parking tickets, but they gotta do what their bosses tell them. And I know the budget line item is very high for the town, so they're making a lot of money. So I don't know how they're going to address it, because I don't know where they're going to come up with that over $1 million that they're taking in every year through the parking, with the permits and the meters and the fines on top of that. So I know it makes it tough on us for lunchtime. People, they park and then they come in, they have a nice lunch, they forget about their meter, they run 5 minutes over, they go out and there's a $32 ticket on their car, and they don't come back out. And I, from just talking to people that don't come into Westfield, they say I don't go into Westfield anymore. It's too many. I always get a parking ticket when I go there. No, I mean, some of that is on the people that are parking. It's pretty simple to put a timer on your phone. I mean, it's like not many excuses, and I understand that argument. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, there's got to be something better. Again, it's another multifaceted problem, because they give out tickets. I mean, you're a minute over, you're almost guaranteed a ticket. And then on the other end, it's like most people they want to park right in front of where they're going. They don't want to have to walk. So, I think just like any good negotiation, both sides need to come away unhappy. That's a sign of a good deal. So, I think we got to figure something out, though, either a parking deck or something to try and promote this downtown, because at the moment it's definitely, if you look at it as an organism, it's dying because more and more stores are leaving. So, I mean, whether it's tax incentives for the landlords or whatever it is to try and lower the rents and get more people in here, but the retail, and this goes back to zoning, but the retail is not where it was as far nationwide, globally, whatever. It's the whole market has shifted, and so basically we need to do something in order to incentivize retail to come in, and I don't know if where the market is as far as the landlords are concerned with the rent, but I mean if you give them some incentive to drop it down and change the zoning and allow maybe some offices or maybe medical things or whatever the market is bearing. I'm kind of a free market guy where the market will figure itself out, but sometimes it takes help. Yeah. And again, we have a lot of restrictions. So if we take away some of these restrictions and we remove the zoning laws the way they are, we just change them. And there's various ways to do it, and they got to find a fair way to do it, because if you just say no offices in this area or no, then this guy's going to say, well, what about me? So there's got to be a way to do it. You can maybe do it by square footage, like there's a bunch of different ways they can attack it. So I'm interested to hear that report that they're coming out with. I've definitely been an outspoken person at those meetings when I'm there. So hopefully my ramblings have not been falling on deaf ears, but there's obviously some issues with the empty storefronts, and it kind of makes the downtown look dilapidated and not very welcoming. So hopefully we get it turned around and soon.
Well, so really what I'm hearing is that it's sort of like twofold. One, in other towns you're going against like the Amazons and those order in companies, but you also have the double sort of situation with the town. So it makes it a little even more difficult in the town of Westfield.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's not necessarily specifically just Westfield. It's again, like you said, it's multifaceted. I mean, I'm hoping that again, I'm still waiting to hear on the report. We met in October, and speaking with Mark LaGrippo at the last Chamber of Commerce meeting, he said the findings on the report of that downtown task force should be out either later this month or early March. So hopefully that'll be, hopefully there'll be some light shed upon what their plans are, what they're gonna do. There's a bunch of different apartment complexes being built. So again, it's just gonna take time. Once they get finished and they get rented out, then there's going to be more people downtown, which people will definitely help. I mean, they're going to, a lot of those places, they're going to walk to downtown. They're walking distance. They're going to hopefully, spend their money down here and make Westfield more of a destination for businesses. But there's a lot of other stuff that we should be doing. In my opinion, we should be looking for federal grants to redo all our entire sidewalks. I mean, if you look around the sidewalks, they're terrible. There's tripping hazards. I can't tell you how many. I mean, I've seen ladies fall down, like old elderly ladies just fall down and have to pick them up, and like one lady definitely got hurt that I saw, and this was a street problem. It wasn't on the sidewalk, but she took a header in the street, broke her shoulder, and I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff out there that we could do things, from a town perspective. I know that they spent some time and effort getting the grants for the south side of town, and they refurbished the sidewalks by the train station, and they're gorgeous. And I feel like they could do that where the people come, is downtown in here in the central district, and they could spend that, they could spend time and resources trying to get that grant money to redo the sidewalks down here, and that would be wonderful.
And let's talk about you personally. So you're from where are you from originally?
I was born in Staten Island. We moved to Freehold, New Jersey when I was about 6 years old, and spent my school years down there. Graduated in 2000 and went to East Carolina University down in Greenville, North Carolina. Spent a few years down there honing my beer pong skills and majoring in alcoholism. And, eventually I failed out of college and I decided to enroll in culinary school to change my life around a little bit. And the reason I always frame it that way is I've done some speaking gigs at different high schools and young students, and college isn't necessarily for everybody. So it certainly wasn't for me. But there's other pathways in life, and just not to get discouraged. And if you fail at something, it's a way to find growth, and you can still do things with your life. You're not just you don't have to just sit around. So I went to culinary school and graduated 2004. Started working, and that was at the French Culinary Institute in New York City. So I was there it was a 9-month program. Just went in, cooked. It was more like a trade school. No math class, no English class. I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. Just work, cook, and then go out and work more, which made sense to me. And then in 2008 was when I got sober and put some of those demons to rest. So,
what is your current? Do you drink now currently, or
no? I've been sober since October 20th, 2008. Is the last time I had a drink. I got a DUI in Cranford, and that was basically the best and worst day of my life. It was the worst day of my life at that time, and then looking back now, I look back on it fondly because I was able to really give myself a new direction. And now I wake up and I know where my truck is parked every day. It's fantastic. I didn't always know where my car was parked. I didn't know where I was a lot of the times. But for me, it was a necessary change and a necessary. I probably would be either in jail or dead if I kept going the way I was going. So it was definitely a necessary adjustment for me, and it's been wonderful ever since.
Is there a support group that you went to help you?
Yeah, it's a 12-step program, Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm not very anonymous about it. It's part of my story. For me, I find it easier just to say, this is who I am and this is what I do. I would say 99.9% of people just accept it. And the other, 0.01% that don't understand it, I just don't worry about it. It's not from, that's on them. I'm not, I don't try not to be judgmental about things and just, especially with that. But if there's people that are out there struggling or whatever, I think there's almost 1,200 meetings in Union County alone. So, there's plenty of help out there. And you have to want to get better more than you want to get messed up, and that's a hard obstacle for many people to overcome. I knew once I got that DUI that I had to make changes. So I'm fortunate, through the grace of God or a higher power or whatever you want to call it, that I've been able to stick with it and still, to this point to today, which is all I have is just today, is to not have a drink or drug.
So we have to wrap it up pretty soon. I just wanted to know, in terms of how is food and the love of food and what you found through cooking helped you to overcome what you call your demons? How is that? Has food been a key part of that?
Sure. Well, it's almost like replacing. I have a bit of an obsessive and addictive personality. By nature, I always have. As you can tell, my arms are covered in tattoos. I don't typically just do. I can't even. I don't eat one potato chip. I'm always I'm all in on whatever I'm doing. Whether it's golf or it's target shooting or it's working out or work. Period. Again, I'm not part of one. I'm on the board of one place. I'm on 3 boards. It's a nonstop of obsessive compulsive type, affliction, if you will. But I try and use it in a positive way, and I do my best to help other people when they need it. And so, food has been one of those things where food and music are two constant things in my life where you can always learn something more. I don't like being stagnant. I don't like being locked into one thing. I maybe have a little attention deficit disorder on top of everything, but to be able to for food, I mean, if I get bored with something, I just change it. Music, there's always something to learn, a new style, a new genre. We're going to try this scale here. Can I do this, that? I'm actually in an all original band, and we're actually playing tonight in Kenilworth. We released our new single on Spotify and iTunes and all that. Our band is called Audible Soul. The song is called Blind. Download it, check it out, give us a plug while we're here. But it's like, so I mean, I'm running a business full time. I take guitar lessons. I'm in an all original band writing music. I mean, so I'm just using all of this energy where otherwise, 9 years ago, I would have been using that energy to find the next score, find the next high, chase this, chase that, and instead of using that energy in a negative way, in my eyes, it's a negative way of getting outside of myself with booze or drugs. I'm taking that energy, getting outside of myself with music, with food, with being creative, with writing, with whatever the case may be. So, just because I don't, a lot of people think, oh, you don't drink, you can't party anymore. Like, every day is a party for me because I'm happy to be alive. I'm grateful that I have opportunity to find myself and find different things in life. So, that's great.
Last question. In terms of, is there any specific food or at the restaurant here at Butcher Burgers, is there any food that you're really proud of that you've used all of this energy and creativity to make like an amazing burger or an amazing piece of food that comes out and the people are just like, wow, this is amazing?
Well, I hope that all the stuff comes across that way. We do our best to try and, I've been asked many times, like, well, what's your favorite thing to cook? And whatever I'm cooking at that moment, I try and make my favorite thing to cook because that's what my customers deserve. That's what the ingredients deserve. I mean, a lot of this stuff was alive at one point and has been sacrificed for us to eat and become nourishment in ourselves. So, I try and make it taste wonderful and do and honor both the animal and the customer that are eating. And we have plenty of vegan and vegetarian options too. But again, the same thing. That vegetable was alive at one point. So we have to respect that and respect the the soul of whatever it is that we're eating. I think that's something that is sometimes lost on us, especially nowadays with mass consumption of chicken and beef and all. I mean, everything, people think it comes in a styrofoam package. So it's not quite the case. When you actually you can go to a farm and you can see the cow and what they're like where they break the pieces down and all that stuff. I've done a lot of butchering in my life, and it's definitely offered me a new perspective on what exactly we're doing. What we have this animal, we're breaking it down, and it's becoming a part of us as we're eating it. So I find that one of my favorite burger on the menu, to kind of answer your question, is the Mangalitsa pork burger. It's just comes from a local farm in Sussex County, New Jersey. They're humanely raised. They basically have one bad day. They got a little bit higher fat content, so the burgers are extremely juicy, very flavorful. And we serve that with a habanero mayo on a pretzel bun with some raw onions and smoked Gouda cheese. So you have the freshness of that raw onion, you have the smokiness of that Gouda cheese, the fattiness and the good salt that we use on the burger itself, and then a salted pretzel bun burger where all goes together. You got salt, sugar, sweet, smoke. I mean, everything just marries really, really well. So.
And what's the name of that?
The Mangalitsa pork burger. It's my favorite. I eat that, although I'm not eating bread right now, so I stay away from the pretzel. But that I had one last night. I had the pork burger for dinner. It's so good.
So your theory on cooking is similar to Michael Jordan or Joe DiMaggio when they said someone could be watching me play for the first time. I have to be great every day. So whatever they order from your menu, you want that to be great.
I think it might be the first time anybody's ever compared me to Michael Jordan or Joe DiMaggio. So thank you. But I just try and when we're cooking, just this burger is the only burger I'm thinking about. I'm trying to get that to be perfect for the way the person wants it. And as I'm human, only we do make mistakes sometimes, but we do try and come up for our shortcomings. And if there's an issue at a table, we try and make amends to it. So But yes, to answer your question, yeah, we try and pay attention to everything. That it has to be great every time, no matter when you're here.
Maybe that's a good way to end the podcast, comparing you to Michael Jordan and Joe DiMaggio.
You're too kind, but thank you. This makes me laugh.
Well, thank you for coming on today. It was a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully you'll be on for another podcast.
Anytime, anytime. It was great having you in this morning, Mike. Thanks so much.
Thank you.